need to tighten the screw. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Delusional Daydreams podcast. I was definitely not planning on recording today. I wanted to get some editing done, but I feel like I have been called into maneuvering my creation process a little bit differently and diving deeper into intuitive aligned action and what that looks like and feels like and means to me. I did something fucking wild this morning. Oh my gosh, I did something wild, at least for me. I deleted the TikTok app off of my phone today. Yes, I did. I did not delete my actual account. I don't feel called or ready to do that. I feel like that's the only platform where I've actually gained somewhat of an audience. And I'm not necessarily ready to lose that because that is such a good conduit and traffic source into what I'm currently working on, which is my podcasting, YouTube, just more evergreen content. But I did delete the app off my phone. And not only have I been distracted lately, I've been doom scrolling. I've been using TikTok scrolling as a way to pass time, as a way to find confirmation and validation in what I'm feeling and what I'm going through. And I've just noticed that when I find myself trapped in the scrolling, I'm just constantly flipping and flopping and flipping and flopping based off of the information that I'm consuming. And I'm really sick of that. I really just want to get to a point where I don't need any external validation for what I'm feeling and what I'm going through and what I believe in and how to move forward through the things that I'm going through. I want to be able to harness my validation through intuitive insight and have the confidence within myself to make concrete decisions, like whatever insight I am gaining from within is meant for me and where I'm meant to move and how I'm meant to move. Yeah, so deleted the app and I feel so free. I know another reason I was called to do this today is I've taken a break from creating on TikTok. Specifically, I've been taking quite a break from the short form content. I've just been really overwhelmed with short form content lately, and I think it's this never-ending trap of not feeling fulfilled, of not feeling like I'm creating enough, and just this constant need to keep creating things that aren't designed to have a lasting impact. I'm at this point where it's just really draining and nothing about it is fulfilling to me anymore. So not only is scrolling just super distracting and messing with my own intuitive insight, but it's also just the idea of creating on there is so completely draining. And I think it's designed like that for a reason, right? It's like going viral doesn't make a difference anymore. It doesn't make a difference in your audience size anymore. And viral videos don't make an impact like they used to. Becoming viral is more of an expectation. And I don't like having that external pressure and expectation of needing to go viral every day, if not multiple times a day, depending on how much content you're creating and putting out there. Not to mention, your content is then only green for 24 to 48 hours a week, if most. So I'm just at this point where it's just this constant feeling of needing to create, to feed the algorithm, to feed the trap of, I feel like it really is, an intentional design this way where it's just to keep you busy. right? It's like we're using the most divine gift that we have, which is a part of our destined creation as human beings, which is to be artists, to be creatives, to take divine insight and move ideas into the physical world. I almost feel like with social media and quick short form content that doesn't have the opportunity to be evergreen, meaning long lasting, it truly is intentionally designed to waste our potential, to drain us, because all this energy that we're putting into short form viral style content that doesn't have a chance to make long lasting impact is just being wasted, right? It's like we have the potential to create things that in a sense make us immortal as humans. And when I say that, I'm almost thinking of like Shakespeare. How long ago did he live? I don't even know. Don't ask me. I'm not a history buff. I don't know my dates, but like he was alive a long time ago. And we're still reading his books in school. His literature, the things that he wrote, the stuff that he channeled onto pages is still making an impact in human development and human consciousness. So in a way, he is immortal. Or I think about, just any kind of creative or artist that has brought something into this world that is still relevant today. And that's what I mean. We do have the potential to create things that make us immortal, that leave such an imprint on this earth, on humanity, that we stay around forever. And I feel like I've just been called and pulled to focus more on channeling my creative energy into more immortal style projects and creations, evergreen content, if you will. So yeah, TikTok, bye-bye. At least for now, right? Like, I do think that short form can be a really good way to market or get out the word of your immortal creations. But I think it's a dangerous game to play when you're trying to make yourself immortal simply through the short form viral content. So until I have become confident in my intuitive calling to focus on my immortality projects, my evergreen content, my evergreen projects, my long-lasting intergenerational projects, until I've harnessed what that means and what that looks like for me, I'm not ready to step back into short form content, because at this point I really don't feel like I have too much to market. I mean, I could be marketing this, I could be marketing this podcast, eh? I could be marketing this podcast. And I think, I could be doing that, but it doesn't feel right at the moment. And I think I'll know when it does feel right. And maybe that's because at this point in my project, I'm still working out the kinks. I'm still working out the tweaks and moving things around and how I'm actually meant to be creating evergreen content. I feel like with stepping into this more aligned action and intuitive creation, it really is about me releasing all sense of expectations and releasing the rigidity of timelines that I'm setting for myself, how I think things should be done, how I think things should become, and what the outcomes will look like. Because then I'm losing focus on the process. And creation is all about the process. Creation is all about moving energy, expressing energy, and move that energy into expanding perspectives of humanity around us. to make us all realize that we're more connected than we ever thought. And when it comes to projects, specifically for me, this is something I need to work on is, I'm definitely someone who's I was taught to be a little bit more OCD, and like having a plan of attack is really important, and creating a schedule for yourself is really important, and maintaining rigidity within your consistency, right? Like doing is going to get you the results. But something I kind of just got this like, what the fuck? Something about that doesn't make sense, right? Because they say that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And yes, it's important to be consistent and have patience and persistence in the process of creation, or the process of taking action or moving towards a quote unquote desired result or a destined result. But when you're moving through the consistent action, release the expectation that your consistent action needs to be the same fucking action every single day, every single time, right? Because if you're taking this action and you're realizing, this isn't getting me anywhere, but if I do it 100 more days, maybe it will. Maybe you should rethink that. Put in the consistent energy and effort into whatever it is you're doing. But if you're being pulled to tweak something, do something a little bit different, shoot something a little bit different, talk about something a little bit different, use a different form of language, or, switch up your environment, or whatever the tweak is in whatever it is you're doing, I think the most powerful thing you can do is release the rigidity of feeling like consistency equals doing the same fucking thing over and over and over again to get your desired results. But more consistency is putting your energy consistently into a project and intuitively tweaking things that need to be adjusted that maybe aren't working until you've adjusted everything and fine-tuned everything enough with consistent energy put in until all of a sudden, boom, you've got this big bang idea where everything is fine-tuned to officially have the wholeness of impact that it was destined to bring into this world. Does that make sense? So, yeah, I'm at this point where it's like, first off, I need to focus on my grounding practice, which I have been consistently showing up for and doing, because within my grounded state, within the moments of silence and ridding myself of the distractions, making sure my vessel, my physical vessel, my mental, and my spiritual essence is all in alignment to receive the divine insight. When I receive the divine insight, I can then trust that intuitive pull, lean into these gifts of intuition. Stop feeding the ego of what I feel like I need to do, how it should be, what it should look like, what the schedule should be, and how everything should lay out, and lean into what I'm being called to do, how I'm being pulled to take action. And that might differ from day to day, because day to day I might be pulled to make little tweaks here and there, and releasing, I'm going to mess it up, I'm going to mess up the consistency if I switch it up and do it like this. No. You are making the tweaks. You're making the adjustments to fine tune and really harness what it is you're meant to be bringing into this world. And this is the part of my intuitive creative process that I'm being pulled into, is to release the expectations and rigidity of what I was taught consistency looks like, which at the end of the day just keeps us busy and keeps us in this loop of kind of being stuck doing the same shit over and over and over again, expecting different results. Because I was taught that just by putting effort in equals results. No. Granted, you need to put the effort in, but you also need to be grounded enough to know what aligned action you should be taking. And that's going to vary day to day based off of the tweaks that need to be made. And I think when it comes to creating something that's going to have an immortal, long-lasting impact, you also need to release that when you start said project or said action or said creation, that you're going to have all the answers right away. Because the whole point is to learn along the way. You need to start somewhere. And once you dive in and you start, then you're going to get the insight and the directional pull of where you're meant to take this, and trust that you will learn and be guided through every step that you take. Wow. That's so freaking cool. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So I'm so excited to see where all this goes, because yeah, I've just been so drained trying to keep up with the Joneses in a sense when it comes to content creation. And it's just like, I have not been pulled or called to create short form content in any way, shape, or form. It really has been a lot more about doing this, doing a lot more writing, and like putting longer lasting projects together, which another thing that comes with creating projects like this is realizing how much patience I still have to gain. How much more patience I have to step into as an individual. Like, I thought I really was becoming patient, but when you're creating viral style content, short form content, it really is such a short creation process, but then you also get quick results. So it's like that dopamine rush. Like, you get results right away for every step that you take, where when you're creating something on a more long-term scale, the creation process is a lot longer of a process before you start seeing any kind of results. So it almost feels like you're doing a lot of this work in the shadows and behind the scenes, and you're putting things out into the world to kind of test the waters, see where things need to be adjusted until you get that perfect, and then the big bang, if you will, and you finally found that formula of XYZ that works perfect for said project. But it's a process to get there. So it's like you're constantly, in a sense, failing. You're putting things out, fail, tweak. Putting things out, fail, tweak. And it's this constant fail, 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 tweak, 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 no, 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 tweak, 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 until you finally get that yes. And it's a lot of patience in the process, and a lot of learning how to trust yourself and find the confidence within yourself that what you're doing, like you're doing something big. And even though everyone around you is telling you, this is not awesome, this is not going to work, or this isn't it, if you believe in yourself, find that inner strength of pushing through all the no's, pushing through all the failures, pushing through all the nothing popping off. I heard this quote one time that was like, not that we're doing this to become famous, right? We're doing this to create impact, to bring divine creation that's meant to come into this world, into the world, to help develop and pivot and expand human consciousness and empathy and connection. But I heard this quote that was like, the faster you become famous, quote unquote, or big, the quicker you can die off. But building something out of concrete, building something out of stone, you got to first, pat down the land and make sure that the land is hard enough to build a strong foundation. Then you got to build out the shape of the foundation. Then you got to mix the concrete. Then you got to lay it out, and lay it out when the weather is permitting, so that, the divine timing so that all the external elements don't fuck with the drying process, and then you got to let it dry, and it takes longer, but that foundation, that concrete foundation, is so much stronger and everlasting than building something out of fucking toothpicks. So it's all about having patience in the process, realizing that what you're called to create isn't just for nothing. Every no, every failure is one step closer to that yes, one step closer to the big bang. And you just gotta keep reminding yourself that, because what did I hear? I don't know if this is accurate, don't quote me on this, but I saw a video explaining how the founder of Canva, do you guys know Canva? I use Canva. Canva is literally the most ingenious website ever created. It's basically like a, what is it called? Digital, it's like graphic design for beginners. It's like a user-friendly graphic design platform that anybody can use. The founder of Canva, I heard this, again, don't quote me on this, but apparently when she was trying to pitch this idea to investors, she literally went through 100 no's. Could you imagine having this badass idea like Canva, going to 100 in-person meetings, pitching this idea, and just getting no after no after no 100 times? 100 times, and still believing in yourself enough to keep going to that 101 person that said yes. And look at her now. Oh my God, Canva's been pivotal in entrepreneurship and in the online graphic design realm. It's been a pivot for accessibility for humans. Moral of the story is she had the strength and belief within herself and her idea that this was something, and she had the patience to understand that every no gets you that much closer to that yes. You don't know how many no's you have to go through, but just realize that that's a part of the process. It's a part of the process. With all this said, I'm just so excited to see how this pivots my creation stuff, and just getting a lot more intentional within my life and how I am going to be called to pivot this project, vlogging, writing. Yeah, it's just like so exciting. But yeah, first things first, getting rid of the distractions and leaning into the intuitive call of getting rid of things that I am meant to release and taking action when I'm being pulled and called to take action, and doing it in a way that I'm being called to do it, and releasing how I feel like I should be doing it. But if I'm being called to do something different, doing it that way, and just leaning into the faith that I am being guided to that yes. So yeah, I think that's all I have for today, folks. I feel like this is the first podcast I've recorded in like a minute that genuinely feels back on track, back on point, back to the journey after transmuting so much dense energy the last 2 months. So I appreciate your patience through the journey, through my storyline of roller coaster and chaos and emotional turmoil, and reaching this point of so much clarity and conviction within myself and what I'm meant to do here. I'm so excited that I've been able to capture every moment of the journey. And now we've reached this stage, and where is this going to take us? Oh, it's so exciting. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your day, week, month, and year. Eternal lifetime of experiences. Until next time, Ari Lou signing out. Peace punch, Captain Crunches. Bye.